sure you can guess that I am at an estate sale and here in Hampton, Virginia, and I'm gonna see what I can find. Estate sales have been so amazing to me for 2021, so I'm hoping for the same luck again, despite the fact I definitely don't need any more inventory, but you know what? More is more. So hello and welcome. My name is Heroine Bob. Welcome to Bob Buys, the channel I share with y'all my part-time reselling journey here in the state of Virginia. Let's go inside and see what we can find.
Hello and welcome to Voiceover Bob. We are in the kitchen, which is one of the first rooms I went into. This cute little carafe, or carafe, however you want to pronounce it, was only $5 for resale value, and that's what they were asking for it. So I left it behind. Here are a couple of recipe booklets. None of those were worth anything. And then I saw this metal pitcher. It was $3, so I decided to pick that up. I'm big at looking at every cupboard, nook, and cranny at estate sales because sometimes the estate sale people, there's so much in there they don't price anything, and you can find some really amazing deals. So check those cabinets when you're at estate sales. I sold a pair of vintage lawn chairs like these, different colors, for $80 on Facebook Marketplace. I was so sad when I saw that they were already sold. I go over here. This is the garage, by the way, because I saw this vintage enamelware. It is a, vintage 60s, 70s pattern, but unfortunately it was a little bit too torn up for me to pick it up. But if it had not been torn up on the bottom like that, I would have totally gotten it. Vintage enamelware, 60s and 70s, is actually selling really well, especially Bill Warren box, so pick that up.
Interesting house.
This was just an interesting room above the garage. It was like a spare bedroom. It would have been like a really cool place for like a teenager to hang out. Unfortunately, none of these vintage books were worth picking up, but they were just really nice to look at. The room was just really cool. But I did find some books that were worth picking up, a bunch of vintage paperbacks. I personally only hold on to hardcovers because I read and reread things. So I will pick up these vintage books to read and then to resell after I have read them. But I love picking up vintage paperbacks and hardbacks. And a lot of times if it doesn't have a barcode, those Amazon FBA people, they miss them. So be sure to check out the bookshelves. Here I am showing you some absolutely precious 1950s gloves. These are hand sewn and they fit and they match my outfit. So they're definitely going home with me. And then I saw this beautiful, like, screaming cottagecore dress. The one to the left, unfortunately, was damaged, or I would have taken that as well.
Sadly, this is already sold, or I would send a picture to the boy and he would buy it probably in a heartbeat. It's so beautiful.
Not only was it beautiful, it was also only $400 because it was half off, and even if the boy didn't want it, I probably would have bought it because it came with the chairs.
This is my pile so far, plus also, oops, the clothes I have hanging on my back here.
It's hot and I'm hungry, but I also picked up a lot of really good vintage stuff. Oh my god, that dress is just absolutely stunning, even though it's small, and I picked up 2 vintage sweaters. You know what, I'm just gonna show you guys a haul in a hot minute. No pun intended, but yeah, I'm very happy. And I picked up my first, like, legit hard good. I found a vintage blender that still works. But yeah, let's just go to the haul.
Okay, this actually should be good now, I hope. Hopefully we won't have the same focus issues that we've been having because I have messed with the camera settings and facial recognition is back on. Hopefully the focal length is off, and I know none of you care about that because you're just here for the haul. Okay. Hello and welcome back to floor hauls. That is because, again, my full-time job is kicking my butt. It is actually a couple of weeks after the estate sale I went to. That is how much life this job sucks out of me. That it's taken me this long to get to that point. Here is Moxie, because I know that's all you're really here for anyway. She is still in a much better mood than she was that one video. But if I am doing this, it is because I am trying to appease the fur demon. So let's get into the haul portion, and I'm pretty excited about what I picked up just because it was a nice mix of things. So I will start with the clothes first. everything was half off on this day. I found this absolutely beautiful cotton print dress. Very cottagecore. Now this was handmade. I can tell, one, there's no tag. Two, just looking at the stitching. So handmade does not mean hand sewn. So this was handmade, so that means somebody made it on their sewing machine. Has really beautiful detailing here, embroidered detailing in the sleeve. And it has its belt. This was marked as $15, and so I paid $7.50, and the belt is broken, just so you know, but I really don't think that matters because I can just take these off and then the belt doesn't need to exist. But I just thought it was super cute. Very cottagecore. I've had very good luck selling cottagecore dresses, and because this is vintage and handmade, I'm pretty sure I'll still have luck with this one as well. The last cottagecore dress I sold was a modern cottagecore style dress, and that sold for $50. So speaking of vintage, I found two vintage sweaters that are made of acrylic. They're not, it says woolen mills. This one is made out of acrylic. I'm not sure what this one is made out of. This one feels kind of also like acrylic. It says woolen mills, but it's not wool. They are pilled as all get out, but they're vintage, they're cute. They are made in Bemidji, Minnesota. So look at the buttons too. Look at those buttons. But they're both just absolutely beautiful, and we are getting into the tail end of 2021, which makes me very sad. I also bought this because it's green. Literally, I just couldn't leave this behind because it's green. It is a handmade quilted pillow sham. Very granny style. I'll just put granny style in the title and give this a nice wash. It's just something that you put over a pillow. See? So you just zip it up so you can put it in and out of the wash. Really cool. At least I think it's cool, but it's green, so I think everything green is cool. I also bought this. I need to repair it. If you've never been on TikTok, plant talk is a thing, and this is a hanging planter, something for a succulent. It is very broken, but I do have twine because I make a lot of stuff with twine, doing wraps and stuff, so I will just repair this, and this was $8, and these sell pretty well between 8 and 10. Since this is a vintage planter, I think this will do just fine. I also found a vintage knife set. I paid $4. This is a vintage German knife set. It's the Kemper Thomas company, made in Solingen, Germany. This is just faux leather. See the steak knife set there. And it has, or maybe it's faux leather, but this looks like real leather, but it has a nice longhorn on the front to let you know they are steak knives. I'm guessing it needed that so you knew what they were for. I also bought this just because it was neat. This was $3, US Dover 1942. I don't know if that means that's when it was made or if that's just decoration, but I just thought it was cool. That's definitely one of those, like, you set it out in the garden or use it to water plants and fit your rustic aesthetic. I bought a Beanie Baby because this was 25 cents and it still has its tag on it. So this will just go up on eBay. It's free shipping and some little kid will love that. I will still pick up Beanie Babies if they're like very cheap, like, you know, 50 cents or less, because they will sell. And I like having a variety of price points in my shop, and that alleviates that. And then I found, hold on, I'm very excited about this. I found more Dragonware. Now this is a more modern piece. It is not made in occupied Japan. If it was made in occupied Japan, I would be keeping this, but I found a complete saucer and teacup this time. And they knew what it was. They'd marked it as dragonware, but they only asked $5 for it. So because this was half off, it was $2.50. I'm guessing because it was the more modern, and when I say more modern, I mean like 60s. But you can see how beautiful the pattern is. Now this is raised, so if it's raised, that is considered moirage, and considered this is a dragon moirage. That is why it's called dragonware. But you can see how absolutely gorgeous this is. And it is definitely worth more than $2.50, and I'm so excited. I was like geeking out that was still there, and then no one had bought it for $2.50. So I had to. And then I found this vintage sewing box. Again, granny style is in. This actually has hat pins in it. These are hat pins, by the way. Oh, it's focusing on my face. So these are hat pins. There you go. You can tell they're hat pins and not sewing pins because of how large this is to hold the hat on your hair. So it has 2 vintage hat pins in it. It's very dirty inside, but I can clean that up. I also need to air it out because it also smells like a more mature woman as well, which is not a bad thing. It's just maybe not something the new owner would want. So I'm going to de-smell this. But it's very cute. And then I also found a pair of vintage, 1950s pastel yellow gloves. They do need a stain treatment here, right here. But I got these more for myself because they fit me beautifully. These are handmade. These ones are handmade. They're hand stitched. My apologies, I made the same mistake. But these are hand stitched gloves. And like I said, I am 5'9", but I have abnormally small hands, and these fit beautifully. And you guys know I love vintage fashion and vintage dress. They have these beautiful little bows, but you can see the hand stitched details all the way through the fingers. I love it. It's so rare that I find vintage gloves that fit me. They are either exceptionally too small or they are much too large. But look at them. They're so pretty. I just want to wear a cute dress and go have some lemonade or something. That's what these make me feel like. But I got these for myself. They were $1. I'm going to save the best thing for last, and I have a bunch of books. If you're not interested in books, cool. But you can make good money from books. These I'm going to probably hold on to until I read them and then sell them. So I found Inferio by Jack Vance. The cover got me. Cover absolutely got me. Also his nipples are a thing. They look like they're going into his body, which is an interesting stylistic choice by the artist, but I paid 25 cents for this. So all the books were 25 cents. This is Dan Simmons' Endymion. This is part of the Hyperion series. And this was 25 cents again. This is the sequel to Hyperion. This is the 3rd one in the Hyperion. I have not read Hyperion. I do know that Matt from Thrift Alive highly recommends it. I have never found it, and I'm not going to pay full price for it. So I'll just keep holding on to it until I can get the whole collection, and then I will read it and sell it. This I bought for nostalgia. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even know if this is worth anything. A lot of these books are ones that I would have to look up because they don't have barcodes on the back. I literally just bought this because it had Dick Van Dyke on it. The fact that this man is still alive and still dancing and still in stuff is just astronomical. This man is just amazing. But I don't know if this is worth anything other than nostalgia, but I adore it. So I'm probably going to read this and then put it up for sale. But I literally just bought it because it had Dick Van Dyke on the front. This is a Louis L'Amour book. He does a lot of Westerns. I have another one of these books that's not vintage. I might partner these up with. It just depends on how much this is worth. It does have like cover damage and it's crunchy, but I still picked it up because it's 25 cents. Then we have a classic One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This does have, unfortunately, ink on the front of it. Someone wrote someone's phone number on the front of it. I don't know who. This was to be property of Bozeman Senior High School. Nice. Back when, like, you would write on the cover who checked it out. I guess the school didn't want to have, like, the little pocket thing. From the University Bookstore in Virginia Tech, it was $1.50. Anne McCaffrey does a lot of fantasy. I love her Dragon Riders of Pern. I think she does that. I get my fantasy authors. Yep, no, it is because it says Dragonflight. So she does Dragon Riders Pern, which is one of my favorite fantasy books. Her whole Dragon Riders series, any of the books in there I will gladly read, but this seemed different from her. So this is a sci-fi book from her, which I found interesting, so I'm picking this up to read as well. And then I found 2 kids books. Frederick, because I remember it from when I was a child. I do need to take all these stickers off and give it a good clean, but this is more of a sentimental saving. And then He's Your Dog, Charlie Brown. These do not net a whole lot of money, but again, it's more of a, I don't want them to get thrown away, so I bought them for 25 cents. And then the big thing that I picked up that I'm excited about, I don't really pick up hard goods in the traditional like mechanical electronic sense because I don't like dealing with them unless it's special. This is very heavy because this is a vintage Oysterizer's blender. You see it has a whole whopping 3 settings of off, stir, low, and high. This does work. And the glass thingy is in perfect shape. Beautiful. It is nasty. It was in a kitchen after all, and greasy. This was $5. These do sell for like $40 plus shipping. And it does work. I know high works. I don't think any of the other settings work, so I'll just denote that in the listing. But this is a beautiful mid-century modern blender. And I, again, just could not leave it behind after I realized it worked. So I hope you all enjoyed this haul. Thank you all very much for being here and for watching. And I'm going to try to get all this listed now. Bye. Bye.
Hero, hero. I wanna be a hero, hero.